is an entrant here which will be largely eating into the Congress vote bank. The Congress is a divided house, and as far as the BJP is concerned, it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi who is leading the charge. Only yesterday he was in Una flagging off a Vande Bharat Express. Before that, he was there for the Kulu Dashera, the famous international event, and he will be travelling again to Himachal shortly in the next 2 days as well. So the announcements are likely to be made of Himachal Pradesh, similar to what happened in 2017 when the Election Commission had decided to make the announcement in two phases. So first it was about Himachal elections, and a few days later for the state of Gujarat, although the counting was together later on the same day. Joining me on the show, Jyoti Kamal. He is live with me from Chandigarh. We also have Arun Dhata live with us. Jyoti, will it be similar to what we saw last time around when the Election Commission had decided to truncate this entire announcement? First it was Himachal, few days later it was Gujarat, although the counting was on the same day for both the states.
Well, that is quite likely that something like that would happen again, and especially because there is this constant clamor coming in from Himachal Pradesh that there is the likelihood of an early winter onset, and if there is an early winter onset, it's going to hamper the voting turnout that's going to take place in Himachal Pradesh. Therefore, it was imperative that quickly announce the Himachal elections, and especially after Prime Minister Modi had visited Chamba, it was thought that the election date for Himachal is what is going to be announced quickly, because if you look at the previous two elections, 2017, 2012, they have both happened within the first 10 days of November. So now that those first 10 days of November are not very far off, it is imperative.
Yes, so the sense is of an early onset of winter in Himachal, and that is the reason why election dates for Himachal will be announced any moment now. Let me go straight to National Media Bhavan. In fact, that is where Arunima is. That's where Media Center. That's where the announcement of the dates of will be made by the Election Commission. Arunima, so the team of the CEC and other two election commissions, have they arrived, and any moment we can expect that press conference?
Just waiting for them. I'll just try and show you. The chairs are still empty. So we're all waiting for the election commissioners to arrive here. This is the plenary hall of the Vigyan Bhavan. Given the media interest, this is where election commission's press conference venue was moved to. Usually you see it in their office or perhaps in media center as well. The big question before anything else is whether both Gujarat and Himachal will be announced. And as I'm speaking to, they're taking their seats right now. Maria, so any moment now, they will start giving you data about the constituents, how many seats, what is the population. And then towards the end of the press conference will come the much awaited and needed of dates.
You can see that announcement that is being made already, Arunima. And the Prime Minister, just for a quick recap for our viewers, is expected to be in Himachal 2 more times. That is, he is in Dharamshala on 16th of October. Thereafter, he will be in Solan on 18th of October. And on both these occasions, there will be foundation stone laying events and also inauguration of projects. So, the Prime Minister leading from the front in the hill state of Himachal Pradesh. The face of this election, of course, will be Prime Minister Modi and Jairam Thakur. On the other side is the home state of Prime Minister Modi, a state where the BJP has been in power for 27 years. I can see all the reporters joining us as well, Siddhant. In fact, the press conference has started. Let's go straight to it.
Kumar ji, Shri R.K. Gupta, Shri Ajay Bhadu, DG IT Srimati Neeta Verma, Special Officer IT Shri H.R. Srinivas, and Special Officer Sweep Shri Ranbir Singh, and I am DG Media Shifali Sharan. I would request Chief Election Commissioner Shri Rajiv Kumar to kindly give his opening statement, after which the floor would be open for your questions. I would request you to ask your questions subsequently, one by one, after introducing your name and the name of your media organization that you represent. Kindly ensure your mobile phones are on silent mode throughout the conference and there's no disturbance to camera persons in between. Sir, please.
Thank you, Shefali ji. My esteemed colleague, Honorable Election Commissioner Shri Anup Chand Pandey ji, senior officials from the Election Commission on the dais, and friends from media who have gathered here today and also those who are connected with us virtually. We meet today for a press conference that most of you have been awaiting and have also been guessing since morning also. October is a month with many festivals, and we are adding one more festival, that is the Festival of Democracy, to this month of October. अक्टूबर के इस त्योहार के माहौल में लोकतंत्र के त्योहार को भी हम लोग जोड़ रहे हैं इलेक्शन कमीशन की तरफ से, जिसमें 18 साल से लेके 100 वर्ष तक के बुजुर्ग मतदाताओं का एक बहुत ही बहुरंगी इंद्रधनुष है. It's a fantastic rainbow of the voters ranging from 18 years to 100 plus, and we'll focus a bit on this rainbow. I would explain in the detail about this, but in the meantime, to move forward, the elections, when we conduct, we have three broad objectives. First is the elections have to be free, fair, inclusive, accessible, and inducement free. And the second major vertical is the voter, that the voting experience should be very, very comfortable. And thirdly, the maximum voter participation, especially of the young voters, urban voters, PWDs, and senior citizens. These four categories we intend to focus more, which I'll explain. भारत निर्वाचन आयोग स्वतंत्र और निष्पक्ष, प्रलोभन मुक्त, इंड्यूसमेंट फ्री तरीके से विधानसभा का आगामी निर्वाचन चुनाव कराने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है, और हमारा प्रयास है कि वरिष्ठ नागरिकों, दिव्यांगजनों, महिलाओं, नए मतदाताओं सबकी भागीदारी बहुत ही सशक्त तरीके से आने वाले चुनावों में हों. Through the vast reach of the media, I would request first that interaction will start with the wish that our appeal is being heard by most of the voters, and they will come out to participate wholeheartedly in this forthcoming Festival of Democracy. Before going into the mode of the elections, we have an extensive process of consultation. And the magnitude and scale of our elections is really awe-inspiring, as you all know. For the last few months, our entire team, which you are seeing here, has been working on organizing these elections, ranging from the electoral rolls to the management of logistics to various things which we will explain. Periodic reviews were done by them. The commission also went to the states where the elections are due, and we had detailed meetings with the DOs, with the SPs, and with all the enforcement agencies, chief secretaries, DGs, and everyone who is involved in either conduct of elections or in the enforcement side of this. We also simultaneously discussed the COVID situation, as it has been bothering in the last two rounds of elections. We had a detailed discussion with the Health Secretary, Union Health Secretary, and also with the Chief Secretaries and DGs of the concerned states, Health Secretaries. It doesn't seem to be that much of a concern now, but still, the states have been advised that they will continue to follow the five-fold strategy of test, track, treat, vaccinate, and follow the appropriate behavior. We have revised our guidelines, which are in this form, essentially saying that they have to follow the norms set by the Health Ministry and also the respective SDMAs in the states if there is any situation that warrants the tightening or the graded response to the COVID situation. Friends, the first and foremost thing in conducting an election is the electoral roll. A healthy, error-free electoral roll is the primary step, that is the base on which the entire elections are held. And the special summary revision has just happened. The electoral rolls have been published in the concerned states. And during this exercise, the Commission has laid a special emphasis on registration of new age voters, women, transgenders, and persons with disabilities. In order to ensure a clean electoral roll, the photographically similar entries, PSCs, and demographically similar entries have been found through the use of software and field verification. They were circulated to all the DOs and also to the respective BLOs to do a field verification of those who are found to be in the demographically similar entries or the photo similar entries. The special proactive steps were taken for the registration of PWDs, old age, and also the third gender. In this, we took help of the welfare departments, respective departments, for example, the welfare department, whenever the question of the registration of PWDs came. So whomsoever they were giving scholarship, we just cross-checked that they are our voters. To address the issue of urban apathy, we found that there is generally an urban apathy. If I can give you an example, in the 2019 elections, general elections, and if we list all the, say, 7-8 districts where the voting has been leased, 4 of them happen to be the metropolitan cities. It's all in our statistics book, which we have published. I am not naming them here, but we are focusing on the urban apathy very, very seriously. In this, our CEOs are signing the MOUs with the departments and with the industry and with the organizations who have more than 500 persons. And we have reached out to the colleges and the educational institutions. What is expected is that after the voting, if the nodal officers are appointed in these organizations with 500 plus voters, and we will try and persuade those voters after the elections, the leave-taking and non-voting voters, we will try and reach to them and say, please join next time. So that's a kind of a awareness which we will start. The Election Commission of India, in pursuance of the legal amendments, had made 4 dates, as you are all aware. And this, by virtue of this, there is every quarter, first of the every quarter, one can apply for the registration. And the new, now onwards, the electoral rolls will be updated every quarter. और निर्वाचन आयोग की इस पहल पर कानून में जो बदलाव किए गए, जिसके कारण 4 डेट्स में संभव है, और अब पोल गोइंग स्टेट्स में नामांकन के दिन तक भी अभी मतदाता में सूची में नाम जुड़वाया जा सकता है. तो इसमें यह भी आपके माध्यम से अनुरोध है कि अगर इतनी मेहनत करके नए वोटर्स को जोड़ने के लिए कमीशन ने और फील्ड स्टाफ ने मेहनत की है, तो उनको भी आगे बढ़ के वोट देने आना चाहिए. Friends, I'll also tell you how many specifically benefited by this amendment. I'll come to it and tell you. In an election, voters are our primary stakeholders, and therefore, even those who do not have a voter epic, by and large, we have now ensured that the voting epic card reaches everyone. It's being delivered even now, but by chance, if you don't have, there are these many, almost a dozen other documents through which one can vote. So one need not be worried. What is important is to come to the booth with any one of these, even if one doesn't have an epic. Now the next important thing is the polling station. And that's the next point at which we interact with the voter. The effort is to make the voting experience, it's quite protocol based, but we are still trying that the experience becomes far more enjoyable in the true spirit of the festival of the democracy. Our COs and DOs have been asked to identify the lowest polling percentage booth in each constituency. This is what we are doing to increase our awareness and persuade the voters to come and vote. And they are going personally to the polling stations which are having the least percentage of voting below the average in their each respective constituencies. So they'll try and find out what is the issue, why there is a lesser percentage of voting in those particular booths. They'll try and bring them up to the level of the general voting in that particular constituency. Friends, कमीशन का एक दूसरा फोकस है जो हमेशा रहा है, उसमें आगे हर बार नई चीज जुड़ती है, वो ये है कि हर पोलिंग स्टेशन पर कुछ बेसिक सुविधाएं निश्चित रूप से उपलब्ध रहनी चाहिए। तो ये जितनी बेसिक सुविधाएं हम आपको स्लाइड के माध्यम से भी दिखा रहे हैं, एवरी पोलिंग स्टेशन वुड हैव ए रैंप which is accessible for the PWDs, drinking water, electricity, shade, and volunteers for the PWDs for the old age. So every polling station would be on a ground floor so that it is not problematic for anybody to climb. तो जितना भी कंफर्ट पोलिंग स्टेशन पे दे सकते हैं वो देने का प्रयास हम लोग कर रहे हैं, और इन इलेक्शंस में 100% सर्टिफिकेट डीओ से लिया जा रहा है कि सब पोलिंग स्टेशंस पर ये सुविधाएं उपलब्ध हैं। फ्रेंड्स, कुछ पोलिंग स्टेशन ऐसे होंगे जिसमें जो सिर्फ महिलाओं के द्वारा ही मैनेज्ड होंगे। ऑल पोलिंग पर्सनल एंड ऑल्सो इवन द सिक्योरिटी स्टाफ 100% women oriented. So this is our, every assembly would have at least one and more in certain pockets. So महिलाओं के सशक्तिकरण को दर्शाने का चुनावों के इस माध्यम से भी हम लोग एक बहुत सशक्त माध्यम बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, ताकि एक्सपीरियंस भी एक बहुत अच्छा हो और साथ साथ एक सशक्तिकरण को भी वो प्रदर्शित कर सके। फ्रेंड्स, सिमिलरली some polling stations will be managed entirely by our PWD staff, or they will be ready to welcome the voters. And आपके माध्यम से ये भी हम लोग कहना चाहते हैं, और कमीशन में बहुत ही इसके बारे में सेंसिटिविटी है, कि जो PWDs हैं वो एक्चुअली बहुत मायने में हमसे बहुत ज़्यादा एबल्ड हैं। उनका चिंतन, उनका भाव, उनके इमोशंस, उनकी सहनशीलता, बहुत चीज़ हम लोगों से ज़्यादा है। सो व्हाट दे रिक्वायर इज एसेंशियली द इक्विटी एंड इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज, नॉट mere sympathy. And therefore, we are very, very conscious that we will cover all the PWDs, mark them. I'll give you a figure as to how much we have marked all India, and you would be happy to know that. I'll come to that slowly. Now, maybe at the cost of repeating, I would reiterate, if we as the Election Commission team put in such concerted efforts to ensure a polling station within 2-kilometer reach for voters, replete with all kinds of facilities, I would appeal to the voters to value their hard-earned right to franchise and come out to vote in maximum numbers, so that मतदाता रूपी इंद्रधनुष हर बूथ पर दिखाई दे। Now I come to, friends, the postal ballot facility for the absentee voters, because it would be happening first time in these elections. Commission has decided and introduced this in the last round of elections, that 80 plus age voters, PWDs and COVID infected voters, we would provide a form 12D, and if they are willing, if they want to come to the polling station, every effort would be made to make it very, very comfortable there, and we encourage it. But in case somebody is ill and is not able to come, the commission would go to their house and get the vote conducted. And जैसे पिछली बार एक दो जगह में ये सूचना मिली थी कि कुछ शिकायत मिलने की उम्मीद थी कि आपने वोटर्स का, उनका कोई इन्फ्लुएंस हो सकता है घर पर, उसको ख़त्म करने के लिए भी एवरी एंटायर प्रोसेस वुड बी वीडियोग्राफ्ड। साथ में कैंडिडेट्स के एजेंट्स को पहले से ही सूचित किया जाएगा कि किस दिन वोट लेने जाएंगे, वो साथ में जाएंगे, जा सकते हैं, एंड एवरीथिंग वुड बी वीडियोग्राफ्ड। So, without compromising the secrecy of vote, the facility of voting would be extended right from the comfort of their home. And you would be happy to know, in the entire country, there are 1.82 crores voters who are 80 plus. And you would further be happy to know there are 100 plus voters, centenarians, who are crossing 2.5 lakhs. Imagine that they're all part of our voter list. And we are so happy, so privileged to serve them better. Actually, किसी भी सोसाइटी में अगर हम एल्डर्स की देखभाल नहीं करते, उनको सम्मान नहीं दे सकते, तो इट्स नॉट ए राइट वे ऑफ आर ह्यूमन बिहेवियर. तो हम लोग इसके बारे में बहुत सजग हैं और वोट की सीक्रेसी को पूर्णतः अक्षुण्ण रखते हुए उनके घर से वोट भी लेंगे अगर उन्हें इस बात की जरूरत होगी. Similarly, for PWDs, all the facilities starting from a volunteer to the wheelchair, if they require, would all be available at the booths. And again, to give you another interesting figure, there are 82 lakhs PWDs also who are marked in our voter list. And our entire effort is to make it inclusive and accessible. The Commission puts a whole lot of emphasis on making the elections truly participative, accessible for all our PWD brothers and sisters. Friends, I would just briefly touch the technological interventions. There is a whole lot of technology which will go into the elections, starting from for the ease of the voters and also for managing the inducement-free elections. Firstly, the voter helpline, you can see all kinds of informations in that, including your booth location, including the candidates, the informations about them and results. The another interesting and very important application is a C-Vigil application. What it does, any voter can make any complaint, and the moment he either he can take a picture from his mobile, he can write on a paper and take a photo, or he can type. And the moment he sends a message to C-Vigil, his longitude and latitude is automatically fed. Means his location, geolocation is known. And our team will reach within 60 minutes flat and would answer in 90 minutes. So what we are saying, what we are appealing through you to our voters, कि अगर कहीं भी कोई भी दुरुपयोग मनी पावर का, नारकोटिक्स का, ड्रग्स का, किसी भी तरीके का उनको नजर आता है, किसी भी पोलिंग पार्टी का कोई चीज गलत नजर आती है, तो कृपया उसको सी विजिल पे डालें. कुछ स्टेट्स ने बहुत इफेक्टिवली सशक्त तरीके से इसको यूज किया, एंड दिस इज बिकमिंग एन इंटरेस्टिंग टूल इन आवर हैंड्स टू कंट्रोल द menace of any kind of money or the power or misuse by anybody. So please, again I would request that agar nagrik vigilant hai, so vigilant nagrik, C is the citizen become vigilant, and it is your election. If you would help us, we will guarantee that in 100 minutes you get a written response on the same mobile number from which you make a complaint. Similarly, PWD app also gives the opportunity to the PWD voters to go there and even register for facilities or facilitation at the booth. उनको कुर्सी चाहिए, उनको कोई मदद चाहिए, वो वॉलंटियर तो मिलेगा ही, वो सब इस पर पहले से बुक कर सकते हैं. Another interesting and very, very critical application is KYC, Know Your Candidate. तो कैंडिडेट का पूरा एफिडेविट, which will give all his assets and liabilities and all the criminal background, if any, would be made available to the voters. Through this app of Know Your Candidate, अगर किसी भी कैंडिडेट की कोई भी राजनीतिक कोई भी आपराधिक पृष्ठभूमि है, तो वो इस पर स्पष्ट रूप से दिखाई देगी क्या अपराध है उनके ऊपर में, किस तरीके की एफआईआर है, उसकी क्या डिटेल्स हैं, केस की क्या स्टेटस है. एंड इन एडिशन, एज यू ऑल नो, 3 times दे विल हैव टू पब्लिश इन द न्यूज़पेपर्स. तो कमीशन का काम है कि अगर की क्रिमिनलिटी इन द इलेक्शंस, इन द पॉलिटिक्स गेट्स एलिमिनेटेड, रिड्यूस्ड, इफ नॉट एलिमिनेटेड, उसके लिए हम ऐसी व्यवस्था करें कि कम से कम उसकी पृष्ठभूमि वोटर के सामने स्पष्ट दिखाई दे. Then it is voter's choice. We enable the voter to take an informed choice. It's part of the disclosure. And all the assets, liabilities would also be known in this. So your constituency, your candidate, his background, financial, criminal, if any, would all be known through the Know Your Candidate. So please use this. Not for voters, for the candidates also there is an application called Suvidha. जितनी भी entitlements उनके हैं वो सब online apply कर सकते हैं. And we have directed, Commission has directed that it will be served to the candidates on first in, first out basis, so that there is no bias. Whosoever locks in first, whosoever applies for a ground or for any facility first, and if that is a limited space, he or she will be given the candidate first. Friends, we also had a detailed interaction with the enforcement agencies, and to just tell you that no cash would move in the poll-going states between after 5 o'clock till 10 o'clock in the morning. Banks have been directed कि कोई भी कैश का मूवमेंट अपनी वैन के थ्रू नहीं करेंगे. ऐसा देखा गया है कि उसी वैन को यूज करके कुछ ना कुछ लोग कोशिश कर सकते हैं कि उसमें कैश मूव हो इलीगल, उसको मना किया गया. एयरपोर्ट्स वुड बी अंडर वॉच. The GST would keep a track on all the e-bills to find out that no consumer goods, there is no spurt in supply of consumer goods in that particular state for distribution as a freebie or as an inducement. All the borders would be sealed in these states. There would be there would be strict watch on any kinds of money or cash or drugs or that kind of thing. Friends, during this phase in the communication age, there are a whole lot of misinformation and fake news and narratives which get generated. So through you again, we request the voters to be vigilant, to at least see that पिछले कितने इलेक्शन में सेम न्यूज़ उसी प्रकार से चल चुकी है, उसको कम से कम आगे बढ़ाने से पहले अपनी थोड़ी सी विजडम लगा के सोच लें कि ये सच हो सकती है कि नहीं. फेक नैरेटिव्स में आगे बढ़ाने में मदद ना करें. अगर लगता है ठीक है तो जरूर आगे बढ़ाएं, उनका हक है. बट वी हैव एस्टेब्लिश्ड सोशल मीडिया टीम्स इन द सीओ ऑफिस and all the district magistrates and SSP's offices to keep a strict watch. And if anybody tries to create rumors or create fake news or news which are objectionable, the appropriate action the teams would take as mandated under the law. So, having given you an overview of the efforts which have gone into the entire preparation, now I would come to the main thing for which you are waiting. And to tell you first, the term of the Legislative Assembly of Himachal Pradesh is expiring on 8th of January 2023. And there are 68 ACs across 12 districts, and with the specific seats reserved for SCs and STs. So out of 68, 17 seats are reserved for SCs and 3 seats are reserved for STs. As you see the data on this slide, the forthcoming legislative election, our teams would be ready to serve more than 55 lakh electors, of whom about 67,000 are service voters, and 56,000 in the state of Himachal would be PWDs. And you would be happy to know that there are 1,184 voters who are 100 plus. And we have reached everybody's house as a mark of respect towards them. And you will be happy to know, and it's a motivational thing for our young voters. There are voters who have voted in all elections since 1950, all, including the local body elections. And there are 1,184, and they many of them come to the booth. They say, we do not need the Form 12D, we'll come to the booth. So they are really the source of inspiration for all of us. And हमने उनको सबके घर में एक चिट्ठी भेज के अपने BLO साहब के थ्रू या अफसर्स के थ्रू सबको सम्मानित भी किया और आभार भी प्रकट किया कि आप ही की प्रेरणा से बाकी लोग भी आगे बढ़ के वोट दे सकें. Friends, there are 1.2 lakh voters who would be 80 plus in Himachal. And 1.86 lakh voters would be first time voters between 18 years and 19 years. And these are the one with whom we are very, very focused way we are connecting with all of them by organizing large number of events in their colleges and institutions. As you know, the amendment in section 14 enabled us to register voters in the 4 qualifying dates. तो आप इसको अगर मैं ऐसे समझाऊं कि जो लोग 1 जनवरी अगर ये अमेंडमेंट ना होता तो 1 जनवरी 22 को जो भी लोग 18 इयर्स के हो गए वही वोटर बन पाते, उसके बाद में 1 जनवरी 23 की क्वालिफाइंग डेट से वोटर बनते. बट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस चेंज in Himachal alone, those who were born after 1st January 22 but before October 22, 43,173 additional voters have been enrolled and they would be able to participate in this festival. This is only because of the amendment which happened, and you can extrapolate it and see because of these 4 changes. And now what we have done and what will happen in the SSR now, even if somebody is 17 and is going to be 18 next year till October 2023, in the new SSR which is coming in the entire country, they can apply in advance. And we take the responsibility of keeping that application with us and making him or her the voter the date on his or her birthday. And our officers will send them a kit, a welcome kit for the new voters, which will contain the epic card, which will contain how to vote, which will contain about how the EVMs function, which will contain the the website links to where they can educate themselves about the election process. We, through you, call upon all voters in Himachal to come out and vote. Their participation should take inspiration from the elders who are there in that state, and our fervent appeal that all stakeholders maintain COVID-appropriate behavior. Friends, आयोग ने हमेशा मीडिया को चुनावी प्रक्रिया में अपना सबसे बड़ा एलाई माना है. It's a kind of a natural ally. That is why first time we come here and announce. There is nobody who comes to know of this. मैं दोहराना चाहूँगा कि आपके माध्यम से सभी वोटर्स को एक बार पुनः अपील करेंगे. And the exact schedule for the state would be as it's being shown on your slides. वो दे दो notification की dates दे दो. If it is visible, the date for the Gazette notification would be 17th October. The election would be in one phase. Last date for nomination would be 25th October, that is Tuesday. Date for scrutiny would be 27th. Last date for withdrawal would be 29th. And date of poll 12th November. And date of counting 8th December. And the entire process is completed by 10th of December. So again, through you with the appeal to all the voters on behalf of all of us to come and vote in the state of Himachal, I hand over to Shefali ji back. Thank you.
We'll take questions. Neeraj, आप शुरू करें. माइक दे दे यहाँ फर्स्ट रो में. नीरज.
हेलो
जी
सर, नीरज हूँ न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया से, नेटवर्क 18 से.
जी
मेरा सवाल तो एक ही है, लेकिन उससे जुड़े कई क्लैरिफिकेशन चाहिए होंगे. क्या गुजरात, पहला तो ये कि गुजरात चुनाव की घोषणा अपने साथ में करने का फैसला क्यों लिया, साथ में न करने का फैसला क्यों लिया? इसी से जुड़ा हुआ सवाल है, क्या गुजरात विधानसभा चुनाव की घोषणा 8 दिसंबर के बाद होगी? क्योंकि गुजरात के विधानसभा की अवधि में वक्त अभी काफी है, क्योंकि पिछली बार 10 दिनों के फासले पे दोनों राज्यों के चुनाव की घोषणा की गई थी। और तीसरा सवाल यह है, दोनों सवालों के जवाब से वो होगा कि आप ही लोगों ने रूल बनाया है कि 6 महीने के अंतराल के अंदर में जो जिन राज्यों के विधानसभा चुनाव होंगे उनकी घोषणा साथ में की जाएगी। अभी साल के शुरुआत में उत्तर प्रदेश में हमने देखा था, उत्तर प्रदेश के साथ बाकी 4 राज्यों के। तो जो रूल चुनाव आयोग बनाता है, मैं ये तो नहीं कहूंगा कि उसका उल्लंघन कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उससे आप लोग पीछे हट रहे हैं, उसी को आप लोग रूल को बदल रहे हैं। तो ऐसा क्यों है, अलग अलग क्यों है? 6 महीना के अंदर 2 राज्यों के विधानसभा की अवधि खत्म होती है और आप लोग जो हैं अलग अलग चुनाव की घोषणा कर रहे हैं।
एक साथ 3-4 क्वेश्चन ले लेते हैं जी,
फाइन सर।
एक और ले लेते हैं।
हाँ, सर मेरा नाम रवि त्रिपाठी है, मैं जी न्यूज़ से हूँ। मेरा सवाल ये है कि पॉलिटिकल पार्टी ये सवाल उठा रही थी कि एक राज्य का चुनाव हो जाएगा और उसके नतीजे आने के बाद दूसरे राज्य का चुनाव तुरंत होगा तो चुनाव प्रभावित माना जाएगा, कि इसके रिजल्ट की वजह से उसका, ये इस तरह के सवाल उठते रहते हैं। तो आपने इस बात का ध्यान रखा था शायद पिछली बार इसी बात को ध्यान में रखते हुए दोनों के रिजल्ट 18 तारीख को किए गए थे। क्या इस बार इस बात को ध्यान में रखा गया है या नहीं आएगी? इस तरह की शिकायत आएगी तो उसका किस तरह से आप उसका मुकाबला करेंगे?
प्रदीप आप भी ले लें।
सर मेरा नाम प्रदीप है, टोटल टीवी न्यूज़ से हूँ। और सवाल यही है सर, जिस तरीके से जो सब इंतज़ार कर रहे थे, जिस तरीके से चुनावी शेड्यूल का, गुजरात भी सबसे बड़ा चुनावी मुकाबला जिस पर नजरें थी, लेकिन ये जो चुनावी मुकाबला सिर्फ अनाउंस हुआ हिमाचल का, तारीखें अनाउंस हुई हैं, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ अगर देखें गुजरात में भी आपने बैठकें की थी, गुजरात की तैयारियां, ऐसे लग रहा था कि आप अनाउंस करेंगे। इसके पीछे हटने की क्या वजह रही? क्योंकि आपने पूरा शेड्यूल वहां पर तैयार किया था, बैठकें कर ली थी, तमाम तैयारियां पूरी हो चुकी थी, होल्ड रखने की वजह क्या है?
सर,
On this only?
Sir,
one more.
sir, this is on election. Have anything being decided or recommended to the parties on the
After
freebies?
now,
I'm
media
Anuj
organization-
from Republic TV. I'm Anuj from Republic TV. Have anything recommended to the political parties on freebies?
So I will take these questions. The first from the first row and all 3 together. Is it? Ji? Both. I'll do both so that it's fair to everybody. Commission actually goes by the convention in announcing the schedule of elections. It has decided to go by the convention which was set up, which was last followed. In any case, the preparation and conduct of elections is a very detailed exercise, and it takes into account various factors, variable factors, consultation with all the stakeholders, and the factors which are competitive. As the friend asked, the impact of result of one election on the another, the gap between the 2 elections. As Mr. Neeraj asked, that we have all in the recent past announced together. So you may know that when the elections were announced together in the round in 5 states, West Bengal, Pondicherry, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Assam, there was a gap of 10 to 15 days. In these elections, there is a gap of 40 days in the qualifying date. There are factors like the weather. In case of Himachal Pradesh, the weather is a very important factor, especially in the upper reaches, in the constituencies where snowing takes place. So, having seen everything together, including the MCC period which extends, including the preponing in certain states when there is a gap of closer to 2 months, less than 2 months, there are multiple factors. And after examining everything, Commission weighed everything and decided to go by the convention which was last held. Further, MCC period, which gets extended, has been reduced, if you would see the details, from 70 days to 57 days, which is a reduction of 13 days. This is first. And also, if you see it against the 2012 elections announcement when it was combined, there is a reduction from 81 days in the entire period to 57 days, which is 30% less. So now we do not want that the entire election exercise continues for a very long period. It does not disturb anybody. And because of the variety of factors, multiple things together, Commission decided to go by the convention which was set up last time. No, let's ask somebody else. When we come for Gujarat, we'll tell you this.
Can we have
We
one
go to the
by
last.
one, please?
Can you just clarify what you just said, 40 days gap?
I'll explain it again. The MCC period, which was last time in the two states, is getting reduced in Himachal from 70 days to 57 days. Many in Himachal Pradesh had to wait for a long time for the declaration of results after the polling. That period is also substantially reduced. So, while we followed the convention, we further refined it so that the MCC is not unduly extended. Voting takes place before the onset of the snow. Festival season is over by now because in Himachal the Shara and all is so much festive mahal. So everything put together, going by the convention and further refining. And
Sir,
we'll come for the next stage.
I just hope I'm not
Shahid Abbas
misquoting
from
you.
Informist Media. Sir, this is Shahid Abbas from Informist Media. But yes, sir, one sec. Let me finish.
So 12th November, 68 constituencies in Himachal Pradesh will see polls, and it will be a one-phase election which will be taking place in Himachal Pradesh, counting on 8th of December. But as the CEC is emphasizing on convention, so does it mean going with the convention, the counting of votes will also take place in the state of Gujarat, just as it happened last time around. Arun Dhata, Jyoti Kamal is joining us live. Jyoti, going with the convention, we can safely say perhaps that when it comes to both these states, yes, the announcements have happened just of the state of Himachal Pradesh, but the counting last time around also in 2017 happened together, of both Gujarat and Himachal.
Yes, that's right. In fact, if you go by what the CEC just said, he specifically mentioned what we were talking about earlier, that the weather is a complicating factor in Himachal Pradesh, which perhaps led to this decision in terms of when does the voting actually take place. And that's where the date has now been set. Like we were saying, the last time round, it was 9th of November. Before that, it was 4th of November. It's 12th of November. There is snow that's already started falling in the upper reaches of Himachal Pradesh. So while the voting takes place, the counting date has yet to be kind of figured out for Gujarat. And that's where one can probably see that convention being followed there. But for now, very clearly, it is the weather that is being the driving factor here in terms of deciding the date, which is 12th of November now.
Yes, that has been the case. And multiple issues, certainly. Pallavi Ghosh is also continuing to be with us. Pallavi, so the dates are announced as far as Himachal is concerned, and the date for nomination, the other processes will begin in the next 1 week. What will be the big battle that you will be watching out for in that hill state?
Well, I mean, whatever happened the last time round, for example, unemployment, inflation, rising prices, those are usually the key issues. There's also anti-incumbency, which usually works against the present government. More than that, Maria, normally like Punjab, Himachal Pradesh also throws up a cyclical pattern. But, very often real politics defies those patterns, which we saw in the case of Punjab once, where Akali Dal came back to power 2 times round. So will that happen in Himachal Pradesh once again? This is one state, I would say, where the Congress party is quite confident and gung-ho about. And the reason is that unlike in Gujarat, the impact of the AAP has not been that harsh. The AAP too has faced an exodus of sorts, many of them joining the BJP, few of them joining the Congress party. If I'm going to talk about the two main political parties, the BJP clearly the party in power, the charisma of the Prime Minister, the fact that he understands the state completely because he has been in charge of Himachal Pradesh as General Secretary when he was a part of the BJP organization, so to say. So I think that's one factor which works in his favor. The last few development projects which have been announced, the SOPs which have been given to apple growers who are the backbone of the Himachali economy, that's also something which works for the BJP. But what works for the Congress is, of course, hopefully for them, as they think, the anti-incumbency, the unemployment, rising prices, they think those are the factors which they can bring forward. Also, very quickly, in Himachal Pradesh, the Congress faces a problem. And the problem is the legacy of Veerbhadra Singh.
That's
I mean, last time round, Veerbhadra Singh is a stalwart who was a giant leader. And I think the Congress acknowledges that without them, and without him rather, they are on a back foot. So many of the posters as you pass through Himachal Pradesh of the Congress party does show Veerbhadra Singh predominantly. And that's also one of the reasons why his wife, Pratibha Singh, has also been made, so to say, the face of the Congress party in the state. So will that legacy of Veerbhadra help in combat the power of the BJP, which is in power over in Himachal Pradesh?
Pallavi, before I let you go, so you are seeing this bipolar contest, or is Aam Aadmi Party really a factor? You know, because we get a different picture sitting in Delhi, but when we travel any poll-bound state, it throws up a completely different surprise. That are there factors, what appears to be visible from a distance, really at play on ground?
I wouldn't say from a distance over here, but the point over here, Maria, is that Aam Aadmi Party is, I would say, somewhat of a factor very much there. You know, when I do travel to Himachal Pradesh, we do get to meet a lot of people who are a little restless with the Congress as well as an alternative. Or to a large extent, many of them are also restless with the BJP. I mean, as many of us know, Jairam Thakur, there was this speculation, is he going to be replaced just ahead of the elections? Clearly, that's not going to be the case. He's going to be the sitting chief minister when the party faces the polls. What the AAP capitalizes on is that restlessness with both the political parties. But AAP has also been seeing an exodus. I mean, we saw a large number of leaders who had joined the Aam Aadmi Party in Himachal going back and joining the BJP, and some of them joining the Congress. For now, the Aam Aadmi Party's focus has largely been there on Gujarat. But there are parts of Himachal Pradesh like Una, which is adjoining to Punjab. And in Punjab, the Aam Aadmi Party is in power. Will that have a spillover effect? That's also one assumption which is working on, and therefore I would certainly, as a political reporter, not completely negate the AAP factor. How it works out in the days to go, the concentration of AAP on Himachal Pradesh till they shift the concentration of Gujarat, these are going to be a part of the changing dynamics.
All right. Arun Dhata is joining me as well. Arun, the Prime Minister has been leading from the front in both these states. One is his home state, the other a state where he was General Secretary in the past. So he understands each and every region of the hill state quite well. He was in Himachal, in Una only yesterday, is traveling to Dharamshala and Solan over the next few days. That is the message that he is sending, that he is on the front line, that he is going to be the face of these elections, the biggest mascot of the BJP. What is the kind of preparations that has been in place from the BJP? Because we do know that all the senior leaders, all the top ministers have been told to park themselves literally in multiple districts, be it in Himachal or in Gujarat. The BJP, as always, sending a message that they will not leave anything to chance.
Well, that's right, Maria, and Prime Minister Modi, whenever he is in Himachal Pradesh, he never forgets to mention his bond with the state. And every visit in last 1 month which Prime Minister Modi has done of Himachal Pradesh, he has all the time talked about the learnings which he has got from the state, and the way people welcomed him. Now, as we were discussing, the kind of a factor, the kind of role which Prime Minister Modi is going to play in the state is something which is very, very important, because we know the culture of Himachal Pradesh. Every 5 years there is a change in the government, and this time around, why it is important for the BJP to actually not to let that change of 5 year happen, because the way they are taking on Congress party, the way they are projecting Congress party, that it's a complete domination and decimation of the Congress party, and Congress party is on a decline mode. So if BJP does not perform well in Himachal Pradesh, it will not have a good sign or a signal, and therefore we had seen Prime Minister Modi doing flurry of rallies, roadshows in Himachal Pradesh. Various inaugurations are taking place, and of course most recent one was yesterday when he flagged off that Vande Bharat Express from Una. And that express will not only increase the tourism in Himachal Pradesh, but that will also bring the state, that will also connect the state with the national capital as well. And before that we had seen
I have just enough time, Arun, for Siddhant.
That is something
so a quick word from you, Siddhant. Siddhant, we have seen how that cyclical pattern has been broken in multiple states. Look at what happened in Uttarakhand recently. when Pushkar Dhami himself got defeated, but the BJP won the state of Uttarakhand overwhelmingly. It's another state which votes out the incumbent. So the party is fairly confident that they will be able to break those cycle or pattern through which these state elections have been read. What are you picking up from the Aam Aadmi Party and particularly the Congress? What kind of push will they be doing in the state of Himachal in the coming few days?
Well, absolutely, Maria. Very rightly said. BJP's aim is to break this cycle. And in fact, they have again repeated government in the state of Uttarakhand. They have repeated government in the state of Uttar Pradesh. These were the two recent achievements of Bharatiya Janata Party. This time around, Maria, the interesting part of the entire election campaign, not just in Himachal Pradesh, but Gujarat, is going to be that the show is going to be run from the national capital. Because in both the states, there is going to be a triangular fight, and Congress is indeed a major factor in Himachal Pradesh, but not a significant factor in Gujarat anymore. Also, Maria, the way a Twitter war is going on, the way allegations and counter allegations are coming, and the fight is going on between BJP and Aam Aadmi Party. Somewhere Aam Aadmi Party is giving their best to become factor in these elections, and this is perhaps the reason they are attacking BJP, and they also want BJP to attack them, not the Congress Party. This is what I have observed in last 1 month.
Yes, are they actually really a factor on ground? Or is this more of a power play that's happening on the surface? Thank you so much for joining us, Pallavi Ghosh, Siddhant, Arundhata and Jyoti Kamal. So the dates have been announced for the poll-bound state of Himachal. The big numbers right here. It's on 12th of November that 68 constituencies in Himachal Pradesh will poll. And on 8th of December, that is Super Thursday, is when the counting will take place. And given the nature of gap that you are witnessing, it could very well be that before 8th of December, the entire poll process also for the state of Gujarat will be through. And both these states will have the results on the same day, that is 8th of December. That's all from me. News and updates will continue on the other side.
On wheels, which came to a halt in March 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, was flagged off from the Safdarjung railway station in the national capital. This train will be running under the operation and maintenance model Bharat Gaurav train policy of the Indian Railways. And this award-winning train will leave Delhi every Wednesday on its scheduled time and will go through the cities of Rajasthan. Amid the change of guard in the BCCI top brass, the board president Sourav Ganguly broke his silence today and said that he cannot be an administrator forever. The former India captain is set to be replaced as board president by Roger Biddy.
It's iconic when you enter the game in the morning, and after that I've gone back to play many a number of matches, went back as captain, went back as commentator, went back as an administrator. So I can see the history behind that ground. How people come and enjoy it. It's an event. I got this 100 on a Saturday. So a Saturday at Lord's is completely packed. There's not one seat empty because it's a holiday, it's a weekend in England, and people come and watch Test cricket. And England is still a place where Test cricket is alive. It was very much alive during our generation because there was no T20. And then obviously T20 cricket came in, the faster cricket came in. And in many places, Test matches have started to take a back seat.
The Indian women's cricket team beat Thailand by 74 runs to enter Women's Asia Cup final. Chasing 149 for a victory, Thailand could only score 74 for 9 in their allotted 20 overs. And skipper Shaiwai and Nathaya also scored 21 each for Thailand, while Deepti Sharma was the pick of the Indian bowlers with figures of 3 for 7.
जब भी हम पाकिस्तान से खेलते हैं और हमेशा वो इंटरेस्टिंग गेम होता है एंड जस्ट हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि लाइक कौन फाइनल में खेलेगा बट यस हम लोगों का जो माइंड सेटअप है वो काफ़ी क्लियर है कि हम लोगों को क्या करना है हम जस्ट उसी चीज़ पे फोकस कर रहे हैं टीम के लिए अच्छा करते हो और हर चीज़ में आप कंट्रीब्यूट करते हो वो एक आपको कॉन्फिडेंस देता है जो मेरी स्ट्रेंथ है मैं हमेशा उस पर बॉल डालती हूँ और वही फोकस करती हूँ कि अपनी स्ट्रेंथ पे ज़्यादातर रहूँ.
Australian cricketer David Warner's lifetime leadership ban could be lifted as the Cricket Australia directors are contemplating rewriting the organisation's code of ethics. Warner was handed a leadership ban following the infamous 2018 ball tampering scandal. But the 35-year-old, who is closing in on 100 T20 internationals and 100 test appearances, has been looked upon as a possible candidate for Australia's vacant ODI captain's position. In a fresh twist in the Congress presidential poll, Shashi Tharoor has alleged that there is a difference in treatment between candidates within the party. Tharoor has claimed that there is a bias and an uneven playing field in the elections within the party, and the election for the Congress top leadership is supposed to happen on October 17, and the results will be declared on the 19th of October.
हम चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं, कोई दुश्मनी का कोई स्पिरिट नहीं है हमारे पार्टी में। खड़गे साहब तो मेरे सीनियर नेता है, मैं उनके साथ काम भी किया हूं। जब वो लोकसभा में लीडर थे, मैं उनके साथ बहुत नज़दीकी से काम किया। ये तो दो सहयोगी एक साथ पार्टी की मजबूती के लिए किस तरीके के काम करना, इसी के है हमारे चुनाव। मैं चाहता हूं कि हमारी पार्टी में इस किस्म की बदलाव आ जाए ताकि जो वोटर्स हमारे साथ नहीं रहे 2014 में और 2019 में, कि वो वापस आए हमारे पास।
Prime Minister Modi was in poll-bound Himachal.
25 weeks of unparalleled domination. India's indisputable number one, CNN News 18, on your side.
Different constituencies over the past month.
भारत की चौथी वंदे भारत ट्रेन को हरी झंडी दिखाने का सौभाग्य मिला। ये भी सोचिए, देश में चौथी वंदे भारत ट्रेन, इतना बड़ा हिंदुस्तान, इतने बड़े बड़े शहर, लेकिन चौथी ट्रेन अगर मिली तो मेरे हिमाचल को मिल गई।
The Uddhav Thackeray faction of the Shiv Sena has alleged the bias by the Election Commission in the allegation of the party symbols and names. The Uddhav Thackeray faction wrote a scathing letter to the Election Commission today and said that the Election Commission of India gave a wide margin to the rival team Shinde to choose a name and symbol of their choice. War of words brewing between the Congress and the BJP after Pradhan Mantri Modi on Monday had said that he would be solving the Kashmir issue by walking in the footsteps of Sardar Patel. In fact, Congress leader Jairam Ramesh accused the BJP of what he termed as whitewashing real history and also said that Prime Minister Modi overlooked facts only to castigate Nehru on Jammu and Kashmir. Meanwhile, Union Minister Kiran Rijiju on Wednesday launched a blistering attack on Congress's Jairam Ramesh over the history of the accession of Kashmir with India and also said that the Congress...
A very warm welcome. You're watching the 4 p.m. newscast with me, Akanksha Swaroop on CNN News 18. Now, in a big win for the Muslim side, the Varanasi court has rejected the Hindu side's plea seeking a scientific investigation to determine whether or not the structure inside the Gyanvapi mosque is a shivling or a fountain. The Varanasi court said that since the Supreme Court protected the structure found in the Advocate Commissioner's survey, no carbon dating can be carried out. Also, the court noted that ordering the Archaeological Survey of India to conduct carbon dating won't help answer the questions involved in the suit. Let's also listen in to what the advocate of the Hindu side had to say.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने 20 मई के ऑर्डर से ट्रायल कोर्ट को पावर दी थी कि वो सारी एप्लीकेशन डिसाइड करेंगे। दूसरी बात, ये मांग लेके हम सारे महिलाएं याचिकाकर्ता सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए थे और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा था कि आप ट्रायल कोर्ट को अप्रोच करिए। तो ट्रायल कोर्ट आज कह रहा है कि हम नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने सील कर रखा है। तो हम इस मांग को लेके अब दोबारा सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने जाएंगे।
एक चीज बताइए, क्या किसी ने मना किया की बात कर रहे हैं? दूसरी तरफ वादी संख्या 1 जो है वो कह रहा है फिर से रिवीजन फाइल करेगा।
देखिए, वादी संख्या 1 तो इस पूरी मांग के खिलाफ था, तो अब उन्होंने तो यहाँ पे एफिडेविट दिया कि साइंटिफिक जांच होनी ही नहीं चाहिए। ये 4 महिला याचिकाकर्ता रेखा पाठक, सीता साहू, मंजू व्यास और लक्ष्मी देवी, इन चारों की मांग है कि इसमें साइंटिफिक जांच होनी चाहिए। तो हमारी एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट हुई है, इसके अगेंस्ट हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे।
रिजेक्ट हुई है कि
नहीं, टोटल रिजेक्ट, टोटल प्रार्थना पत्र रिजेक्ट हुआ है। और कोर्ट ने ये कहा, मैं एक बार, जो कोर्ट ने ये कहा कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इस एरिया को सील कर रखा है, संरक्षित कर रखा है, इसलिए हम इसमें कोई भी ऑर्डर नहीं पास कर सकते। तो हम इस मांग को लेकर देखिए, मैं यही बता रहा हूँ आपके सामने, फैक्ट ऑफ द मैटर ये है कि इस मांग को लेके ये जानते थे कि हम ट्रायल कोर्ट ऐसी फाइंडिंग दे सकते हैं, इसलिए हम पहले ही सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए थे और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने हमें ट्रायल कोर्ट के सामने भेजा। अब ट्रायल कोर्ट आज कह रहा है हम नहीं कर सकते, सुप्रीम कोर्ट कर सकता है, तो अब हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने जाएंगे।
तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट कब जाएंगे?
बहुत जल्दी जाएंगे, तैयारी करके जाएंगे।
एक हफ्ते के अंदर?
अब मैं इस पे कोई समय सीमा नहीं बता सकता, पर हम जाएंगे। मैं आपके सामने, अपनी लीगल टीम के सामने, अपने याचिकाकर्ताओं के सामने ये बयान दे रहा हूँ कि इस ऑर्डर को हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट में चुनौती देंगे।
1 टन के तहत जो सुनवाई हो रही है,
वो उस पे आज सुनवाई ओवर हो गई, माननीय न्यायालय उस पे आदेश अपना मंडे को सुनाएगा।
ऑर्डर सुरक्षित रख लिया गया?
हाँ, ऑर्डर सुरक्षित, काफी है, करीब 20 से 22 एप्लीकेंट्स हैं, उन सबको माननीय न्यायालय ने सुना है, उस पे अपना ऑर्डर मंडे को सुनाएगा।
अब यहाँ पर आप किस सुनवाई आगे चलेगी?
अभी इसमें हमारी कुछ एप्लीकेशन है, 82 का जो दीवार तोड़ने की एप्लीकेशन है, और भी दीवार नीचे खोलने की जो वजू एरिया की है, और भी अभी हमारी इंट्रोगेटरीज वगैरह आएंगी, बहुत सारी चीजें अभी आगे हैं। उन सारी एप्लीकेशंस को सुनवाई करने के बाद ही इश्यूज की स्टेज पे बढ़ेंगे।
रिव्यू नहीं करेंगे इसको?
नहीं, हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट में चुनौती देंगे इस ऑर्डर। नहीं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में चुनौती
मंडे को आदेश आएगा,
मंडे को।
So the Hindu side all set to march to the Supreme Court, but before that let's also get in a sense of perspective in terms of what the Varanasi court had to say, and for that I'm joined in by Pranshu Mishra, who's joining us live from Varanasi at the moment. Pranshu, the court has also noted that ordering a carbon dating by the ASI is not going to answer the questions involved in the suit. Why has the court said so?
Yes, you know, you have mentioned it a very important point. See, it was not just a question of carbon dating of that structure, which the court has clearly said that since the Supreme Court has already ordered for sealing of that entire area, ordering any sort of carbon dating would be actually, you know, interfering with that order. The court also goes on to say that as far as the demand in the original suit is concerned, and the original suit is about the 5 Hindu litigants, you know, seeking a right of daily worship of Ma Shingar Gauri, and therefore the court says that ASI probe is not going to address on that issues, and therefore ASI probe is not required. So I think the court has also tried to remind the parties concerned that original suit is something different, and you know, this demand of having a carbon dating or scientific investigation of that said structure, which the Hindu side says is a shivling, is not related to deciding the original suit, which of course is the women's right to have access to that spot where they can perform the daily worship of Ma Shingar Gauri. So I think it's an important, you know, 2-page order given by the district judge court. And as we have heard the Hindu side say that, you know, they will move to the Supreme Court with this order. And there is also another issue which was brought before the court, that matter of similar nature is also pending before the Honorable High Court, whereby this issue of whether this matter should be given for an ASI investigation or not is already pending in the higher court. So though the lower court has not mentioned those points in this order, but that was also an issue that has well been considered and debated by the parties inside the court today.
All right, I'm also joined in by Mr. Hari Shankar Jain, who represents the Hindu side. Let's quickly go across to Mr. Jain. Mr. Jain, बहुत ही बड़ा सेटबैक कहा जा रहा है हिंदू साइड को। अब हमने सुना विष्णु जैन क्या कह रहे थे, वो कह रहे थे कि अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाएंगे, पर कोर्ट ने ये कहा है कि कार्बन डेटिंग की जरूरत नहीं है क्योंकि ये जो सूट से रिलेटेड सवाल है वो आंसर नहीं होते हैं। आपको लगता है कि कार्बन डेटिंग से कुछ हेल्प मिलेगी इस पूरे सूट को?
देखिए, ऐसा है, इट इज नो सेटबैक फॉर हिंदू पार्टीज, नॉट एट ऑल, नो क्वेश्चन इज सेटबैक, एंड द क्वेश्चन इज दैट इट हैज टू बी प्रूव्ड दैट आर्टिकल ऑफ फेथ, that is Shivlingam, or it is a Favara, a fountain, what they say. It has to be answered one day or the other. Has to be. Nobody can deny this. इसकी जांच तो होनी है, आज हो या कल हो। तो इसलिए ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि जिससे कोई सेटबैक हो गया।
Mr. Jain, it is also been noted by the court that the original case is about the worship of Sringar Gauri, and that the structure over there in the Wazukhana has nothing to do with regards to the worship of Shringar Gauri. Do you refute that?
वो कोर्ट अपनी नहीं है, मेरा उससे सहमति नहीं है और इस आदेश को मैं चुनौती दूंगा ऊपर की कोर्ट में। जी
हरिशंकर जैन जी, आपने कहा आप इस आदेश को चुनौती देंगे, कब तक उम्मीद कर सकते हैं कि ये मामला अब आप सुप्रीम कोर्ट ले जाएंगे?
बहुत जल्दी, बहुत जल्दी।
कोई डेट है आपके माइंड में?
नहीं, इतनी जल्दी डेट नहीं, अभी तो आर्डर आएगा, हिंदी में आर्डर है, उसका ट्रांसलेशन होगा, तो बहुत क्विकली करूंगा, बहुत जल्दी करूंगा, विदाउट डिले।
पर कोर्ट ने, वाराणसी कोर्ट ने अगर कहा है कि कार्बन डेटिंग इस पूरे मुद्दे को, जो एक रिलीजियस सोशल मुद्दा है, उसको अगर हेल्प नहीं किया जा सकता, आपको नहीं लग रहा कि इस मामले को सिर्फ बढ़ाया जा रहा है आगे बाय इंक्लूडिंग समथिंग लाइक कार्बन डेटिंग व्हिच हैज बीन नाउ डिसमिस्ड बाय से द वाराणसी कोर्ट?
कार्बन डेटिंग इज आल्सो वन ऑफ द पॉइंट which has to be taken into consideration, not carbon dating as such, but the scientific investigation has to be done, and it's part of the suit property. I will explain before the appellate court.
Critics are saying that today it is carbon dating, tomorrow it could lead on to something else. There will be demands further. Why budge away from the issues that lie at the heart of this entire suit?
Yes, this is also part of the suit. I have said that visible and invisible dating. It is all invisible dating that has become visible. So therefore, it is part of the suit property.
The Muslim side argument has also been that the demand for carbon dating has been premature because you have not waited for any decision to have arrived from the court as far as the survey commissioner's report was concerned.
अभी सर मुझे आज तक जाना है, बात करेंगे।
अच्छा, हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. That was Harishankar Jain representing the Hindu side. Let's also listen in to some other reactions that have poured in.
Welcome the judgment of the civil court regarding the carbon dating issue of the shivling, and we all know that on 17th May 2022 the Honorable Supreme Court has ordered that the whole of the Wazukhana must be sealed. So when the whole of the area is sealed on the order of the Supreme Court, how can any activity or carbon dating can be done? So on this ground we welcome the order of the civil court, and we hope that this mandir and masjid issue should be settled as soon as possible.
आशा ये लगाए बैठे थे कि कोर्ट उसको स्वीकार करेगा और उसके संबंध में कोई आदेश पारित करेगा, लेकिन कोर्ट का हम सम्मान करते हैं. कोर्ट खारिज यदि कर दिया है तो ये लोअर कोर्ट है, आगे चल कर के हाई कोर्ट में जाएगा. तो हाई कोर्ट में जो कुछ निर्णय होना है होगा, सुनवाई होगी और सुनवाई होने के बाद में इसका जो निर्णय होगा वह निश्चित है कि वह हिंदू के पक्ष में आएगा.
Let's quickly go back to Pranshu Mishra, who's joining us live from the District Court in Varanasi. Pranshu, if we delve deeper into what the court has had to state today, do you not think that it has also in a way honored the argument that was being presented by the Muslim side, which was that the demand for carbon dating is premature, and that that it's also sort of bifurcating or bypassing the survey commissioner's report? I in fact posed this question to Mr. Harishankar Jain, but he excused himself. I'd like a reaction from you on that.
Yes, that's right. In fact, Muslim arguments have clearly convinced the court, and the primary Muslim argument, as you rightly said, was that this is actually meandering about the original issue. Their demand or their request to the court was that the court should first take cognizance of the Advocate Commissioner's report. It has already been tabled in the court. The copies have been provided to the party. The Muslim side wants arguments and counter arguments on that entire report to ascertain the findings of that report, that whether the structure which is being claimed as a shivling, whether it is actually a shivling or it is a Wazukhana. And if you see the court order today, it also says that a kathit shivling, that means a disputed structure which the Hindu side calls as a shivling. So Muslim side's argument regarding the Advocate Commissioner's report, that has been upheld by the court. And the second argument of the Muslim side, that as far as the original suit is concerned, and that is about the right of 5 Hindu women petitioners of daily worship of Shringar Gauri, that suit or disposal of that matter could not be defined by, is not impacted by the demands like ASI probe or scientific survey or carbon dating. And therefore, I'll say that Hindu side may agree or not agree. The fact remains that the court today was probably, convinced more by the arguments of the Muslim side.
Right, but then Pranshu, why is the Hindu side hell-bent on taking the entire matter to the Supreme Court if carbon dating has no role to play with regards to ruling the entire matter, which is, of course, at the heart of the issue, as we all know, is the worship of Shringar Gauri. What has carbon dating got to do with it?
Well, all the parties concerned do have a right to challenge the particular order in the higher court, in the competent court. And I think the Hindu side is clearly not convinced with today's judgment. It does feel that there was a scope of some sort of intervention to come in from the court. The court could have ordered certain degree of investigation in that area, and therefore I think they will draft their own opinion and will go to the higher court. We'll have to see that whether the arguments which they are raising or the objections which they are raising to the district judge's order, whether they are upheld or taken note by the higher court or not. But as a party concerned, they do have all right to approach the higher court against the order of the lower court.
Right, Pranshu, I'm going to request you to continue staying with us because we have several reactions coming in. Let's also play them out for our viewers.
कोर्ट ने स्पष्ट किया कि 16 मई को जो आदेश है उसको सील करने का, वजू खाने में शिवलिंग प्रकट हैं, उनके साथ किसी प्रकार का छेड़छाड़ न हो। इसका अध्ययन करने के बाद हम अगली न्यायालय में देखेंगे कि क्या नीति अपनाई जा सकती है। न्यायाधीश महोदय ने आज हमारे अनुकूल आदेश नहीं किया और मैं माननीय न्यायाधीश का आदेश एक विश्राम के रूप में देखता हूं। अभी हम विमर्श करेंगे, हमारे वरिष्ठ अधिवक्ता साथी हरिशंकर जैन जी, हम लोग मिलके विमर्श करने के बाद इस पर अपना अभिमत रखेंगे और फिर देखते हैं कि कैसे इसका सकारात्मक हमारी जो बातें थी उसको किस तरह माननीय न्यायालय के समक्ष रखी जाए।
मैं इतना ही कहूँगा कि सबने सब्र रखना चाहिए और आगे अपने मुकदमे को बढ़ाने के लिए उन्होंने जो प्रयत्न करने चाहिए वो प्रयत्न करने चाहिए। देयर आर सो मैनी अल्टरनेटिव्स, पर जो सत्य और सही है वो अल्टीमेटली सरवाइव भी करेगा, विन भी करेगा। दुनिया में कभी रास्ता बंद नहीं होता है। राम जन्मभूमि के बहुत बार रास्ते बंद हुए और खुलते चले गए।
कार्बन डेटिंग शिवलिंग की मांगी गई थी, जिसको कोर्ट ने कहा है कि ऐसे में उचित नहीं होगा। इसी कारण से डिसमिस किया गया है क्योंकि सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश से वो जगह सील्ड है और कार्बन डेटिंग या किसी अन्य तरह की जांच करना सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश के बावजूद कोर्ट ने उचित नहीं पाया है, इसलिए ये याचिका खारिज की गई है। अब देखिए, वादी संख्या 205 के अधिवक्ताओं को देखना है कि वो क्या करते हैं। हालांकि राखी सिंह की तरफ से क्लियर एप्लीकेशन कोर्ट में आने वाले समय फाइल होगी।
Alright, so we heard quite a host of reactions coming in from the Hindu side. Let's also get in some information and a sense of perspective from Pranshu Mishra, who continues to stay with us. Pranshu, we heard what Harishankar Jain had to say. We've heard Madan Mohan Yadav also saying that the court has said that the entire area is not to be disturbed because primarily it is sealed. Now that they are going to, if they do, hypothetically speaking, at the moment, if they do take this entire matter to the Supreme Court or the High Court rather, what will be the bone of contention? Will it be sealing? First, to question the fact that sealing has to be done away with only for carbon dating to go ahead?
Well, the Hindu side, of course, is emphasizing on the fact that this entire area was sealed by the Supreme Court, and the District Judge Court has taken note of the fact that that area has been sealed as per the topmost court's order, and therefore no intervention could be done from it. But they are failing to pinpoint and highlight the second observation made in that order, which clearly says that as far as the issue of settling the original petition is concerned, the court doesn't feel that ASI probe could actually help out in that matter. The court goes on to say that as far as the claims about the so-claimed shivling is concerned, this issue is not going to impact upon the original issue. So I think there were clearly two ideas in front of the court today. One, of course, that there is certain limitation as far as this court can pass order because the area has already been sealed by the Supreme Court's order. But the second important consideration and the observation also was that the Honorable District Judge feels that as far as disposing the suit is concerned, there is no necessity for ordering the SI probe or the scientific probe. And I think that is also very important because we have seen a lot of distraction in this case as far as the original issue was concerned. People have stopped talking about the original issue, that is the Ma Shringar goddess worship, and rather, debate has gone on to whether the structure found is a shivling or not a shivling. And I think the court today has again reminded the parties concerned, emphasized the fact that the primary issue before the court is to decide upon the original petition, that whether those 5 women Hindu litigants have a right of daily worship of Ma Shringar Gauri or not. It is not their original petition that whether the said structure is a shivling or not a shivling.
Absolutely, Pranchu. Stay with us because on the very story, we are getting some breaking inputs now, and that is that the Hindu side has decided to approach the Supreme Court. CNN News 18 has been playing out a host of reactions coming in from those lawyers who are representing the Hindu side as far as the entire Gyanvapi case is concerned. And the latest we are now bringing to you is that the Hindu side has decided to approach the Supreme Court. It's back to Pranchu for more details. Pranchu, now that the Hindu side has decided to approach the Supreme Court, as I was also hinting at what we can expect earlier, the fact that the entire area has been sealed, what will be the challenges ahead for the Hindu side?
Yes, the advocate Harishankar Jain, who is the top legal brain as far as drafting the entire strategy of the Hindu side is concerned, has already gone on record with us to say that we'll approach the Supreme Court. Now, it will take some time. They will go through this entire judgment. They will get an official copy of it. They will draft their petition and then move to the Supreme Court. There's also the fact that, since this entire area is already being, this entire case is already being observed by the Supreme Court, monitored by the Supreme Court, and it was only on the Supreme Court's direction that this matter came to the district judge's court. So it is almost sure that, at a certain stage, the issue was bound to be taken back to the Supreme Court's door. And I think now the Hindu side has decided that this is the moment when we need to go back to the Supreme Court. Now, what their argument would be, on what grounds they would be challenging the district judge's court's order, that we will have to wait, because they will have to first draft a legal opinion, and then only, once they file a petition, if disregard, will be able to say what are the specific objections they are raising to the district judge's order.
Like Madan Mohan Yadav, one of the advocates representing the Hindu side, said, "Hum raniti sochenge aur phir wapas aayenge." So we'll have to wait and watch what is that raniti going to be all about when they do choose to challenge the decision that's been taken at the Varanasi court today. Many thanks to you, Pranchu, for bringing in all those details and for reporting relentlessly on this news story. And with that, it's time to slip into a quick break as news and updates continue on CNN News 18.
100 T20 internationals and 100 test appearances has been looked upon as a possible candidate for Australia's vacant ODI captain's position. In a fresh twist in the Congress presidential poll, Shashi Tharoor has alleged that there is a difference in treatment between candidates within the party. Tharoor has claimed that there is a bias and an uneven playing field in the elections within the party, and the election for the Congress top leadership is supposed to happen on October 17, and the results will be declared on the 19th of October.
हम चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं, कोई दुश्मनी का कोई स्पिरिट नहीं है हमारे पार्टी में। खड़गे साहब तो मेरे सीनियर नेता है, मैं उनके साथ काम भी किया हूं। जब वो लोकसभा में लीडर थे, मैं उनके साथ बहुत नज़दीकी से काम किया। ये तो दो सहयोगी एक साथ पार्टी की मजबूती के लिए किस तरीके के काम करना, इसी के है हमारे चुनाव। मैं चाहता हूं कि हमारी पार्टी में इस किस्म की बदलाव आ जाए, ताकि जो वोटर्स हमारे साथ नहीं रहे 2014 में और 2019 में, कि वो वापस आए हमारे पास।
Prime Minister Modi was in poll-bound Himachal Pradesh today, where he flagged off the 4th Vande Bharat Express from Una to New Delhi. Later in the day, Prime Minister also laid the foundation stones of 2 hydropower projects and launched the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana in Una. The state government has announced and inaugurated projects worth more than 4,000 crores in different constituencies over the past month.
भारत की चौथी वंदे भारत ट्रेन को हरी झंडी दिखाने का सौभाग्य मिला। ये भी सोचिए देश में चौथी वंदे भारत ट्रेन, इतना बड़ा हिंदुस्तान, इतने बड़े बड़े शहर, लेकिन चौथी ट्रेन अगर मिली तो मेरे हिमाचल को मिल गई।
The Uddhav Thackeray faction of the Shiv Sena has alleged the bias by the Election Commission in the allegation of the party symbols and names. The Uddhav Thackeray faction wrote a scathing letter to the Election Commission today and said that the Election Commission of India gave a wide margin to the rival team Shinde to choose a name and symbol of their choice. War of words brewing between the Congress and the BJP after Pradhan Mantri Modi on Monday had said that he would be solving the Kashmir issue by walking in the footsteps of Sardar Patel. In fact, Congress leader Jairam Ramesh accused the BJP of what he termed as whitewashing real history and also said that Prime Minister Modi overlooked facts only to castigate Nehru on Jammu and Kashmir. Meanwhile, Union Minister Kiran Rijiju on Wednesday launched a blistering attack on Congress's Jairam Ramesh over the history of the accession of Kashmir with India and also said that the Congress perpetuated a historical lie to protect the dubious role of Jawaharlal Nehru. Rijiju also said that Nehru rejected Hari Singh's accession request and came up with some special case for Kashmir and wanted much more than what he termed mere accession. Monderita, a class 12 student from Jamshedpur, contributed towards building toilets in rural areas and schools with the money that she'd saved in her piggy bank. Most girls were dropping out of her school due to lack of toilet facilities, after which Monderita decided to join hands with Prime Minister Swachh Bharat mission.
तो मैंने क्या किया, उसी पॉकेट मनी को मैंने जमाना शुरू किया और 2014 में मैंने शुरू किया और 2016 में जाके मेरा पिगी बैंक जो है वो कम्प्लीटली फुल हो गया। तो मैंने जब उस पिगी बैंक को फोड़ा तब 24,000 रुपये निकले वहाँ से। तो उन्हीं 24,000 रुपयों को हमने इन्वेस्ट किया और केंद्राडी गांव जो टेल्को के हुडको एरिया के जस्ट बगल में है, वहीं से पहले 2 टॉयलेट बना के ये जर्नी जो है वो शुरू हुई।
After incessant rains lashed several regions of Uttar Pradesh, residents were having to deal with a lot of water that flowed in from various rivers and went above the danger mark. The water levels of Rapti river was flowing well above the danger mark in Gorakhpur and this severely affected the nearby villages. The flood water even entered the homes of many villages, forcing them to evacuate. The Royal Luxury liner and the train Palace on Wheels, which came to a halt in March 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, was flagged off from the Safdarjung railway station in the national capital. This train will be running under the operation and maintenance model Bharat Gaurav train policy of the Indian Railways. And this award-winning train will leave Delhi every Wednesday on its scheduled time and will go through the cities of Rajasthan. Amid the change of guard in the BCCI top brass, the board president Saurav Ganguly broke his silence today and said that he cannot be an administrator forever. The former India captain is set to be replaced as board president by Roger Binny.
It's iconic when you enter the game in the morning, and after that I've gone back to play many a number of matches. Went back as captain, went back as commentator, went back as an administrator. So I can see the history behind that ground. How people come and enjoy it. It's an event. I got this 100 on a Saturday. So a Saturday at Lord's is completely packed. There's not one seat empty because it's a holiday, it's a weekend in England and people come and watch Test cricket. And England is still a place where Test cricket is alive. It was very much alive during our
Welcome back. We're getting in some breaking inputs. So as far as the election dates for the state of Gujarat are concerned, remember the Election Commission just a while ago announced the dates for Himachal Pradesh, but now CNN News 18 is learning that the announcement of Gujarat Assembly election dates should take place by the end of October. The counting of votes for the Gujarat Assembly elections is also likely to take place on December 8th. Along with the Himachal Pradesh Assembly elections. Remember, it will be on 8th of December that Himachal will also know about its election verdict. But Gujarat Assembly elections will be held in 2 phases. This is the breaking news that we are bringing to you, that Gujarat Assembly elections will also be announced as far as the dates are concerned in the month of October. For more details, let's quickly go across to Neeraj Kumar on the phone line. Neeraj, first of all, many will be asking why wasn't this announced today as the EC was announcing the election dates for Himachal Pradesh?
आकांक्षा, देखिए, आज न अनाउंस करने की वजह चुनाव आयोग की तरफ से ये बताई गई। मुख्य चुनाव आयुक्त राजीव कुमार ने बताया कि क्योंकि मॉडल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट को वो कम करना चाहते हैं किसी भी राज्य के संदर्भ में उसकी तिथि को, क्योंकि चुनाव की घोषणा के साथ ही चुनाव आचार संहिता लागू हो जाती है। इसलिए उन्होंने उदाहरण दिया कि मॉडल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट को कम करना चाहते हैं, इसलिए तिथि की घोषणा बाद में होगी। हालांकि ये नहीं बताया कि गुजरात विधानसभा चुनाव की घोषणा कब होगी। हिमाचल के संदर्भ में उन्होंने ये भी साफ किया कि वहाँ फैक्टर मौसम का है, लेकिन पिछली बार भी अलग चुनाव की घोषणा हुई थी। लेकिन जो अब हमें जानकारी मिली है उसके मुताबिक, सूत्रों ने जो जानकारी दी है उसके मुताबिक, गुजरात विधानसभा चुनाव की घोषणा 25 अक्टूबर या उसके बाद महीने के अंत तक, यानी अक्टूबर महीने के अंत तक कभी भी कर दी जाएगी। 2 चरणों में गुजरात विधानसभा का चुनाव होगा। 8 दिसंबर को गुजरात विधानसभा के नतीजे आएंगे हिमाचल के साथ ही, क्योंकि बार बार ये सवाल उठा, मैंने भी खुद मुख्य चुनाव आयुक्त से प्रेस वार्ता के दौरान सवाल पूछा कि 6 महीने के अंदर जो भी चुनाव होते हैं उनमें चुनाव कराने का, एक साथ घोषणा करने का चुनाव आयोग को अधिकार होता है, लेकिन अलग अलग क्यों? क्योंकि पिछली बार आपको याद होगा यूपी के केस में देखा होगा, यूपी के साथ कई राज्यों के विधानसभा चुनाव हुए थे, एक साथ घोषणा हुई थी। चुनाव आयोग का तर्क था कि वो मॉडल कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट को कम करना चाहते हैं। हिमाचल प्रदेश में मौसम का फैक्टर है। गुजरात की घोषणा जब करेंगे तब वो बताएंगे कि मतगणना कब होगी, लेकिन सूत्रों ने हमें जानकारी दी है कि मतगणना 8 दिसंबर को ही होगी और 2 चरणों में मतदान होगा और महीने के अंत तक चुनाव की घोषणा गुजरात में भी कर दी जाएगी।
जी नीरज जी, हमसे बात करने के लिए और ये जानकारी देने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। फॉर मोर डिटेल्स, लेट्स क्विकली गो अक्रॉस टू Arunima, who is stationed outside the Election Commission office as well. Arunima, if one was to go by this exclusive piece of information that has been accessed by CNN News 18, that the Gujarat Assembly election, the verdict will be out on December 8th, the same day as Himachal Pradesh Assembly elections results. Will it be safe to say that should we expect the voting to take place in the month of November as far as Gujarat is concerned?
Well, if you have to declare the results on the same day in Himachal, and if it is not a single phase election, then yes, that's a safe guess to make. Also, since the Chief Election Commissioner time and again repeatedly he underlined that